Hello friends, today we are going to study about the Bengal School of Painting, which is a very important chapter of the Indian art as it turned the Indian art into a modern art. It gives the Bengal School painting came into existence in the beginning of the 20th century when Indian painters and artists were looking to move away from the British academic system of art education to create an art that was more connected to the Indian art, culture, heritage and tradition. In the same time, some famous artists came into light that fearlessly gave the art movement a new direction. During the early part of the 20th century, artists were looking to move away from the British academic system and technique and to create an art that was more connected to the Indian art, culture, heritage and tradition, and art more Indian in feeling. Rabindranath Tagore was instrumental in the creation of the Bengal school. Even after long efforts, Britishers could not develop the Western art of painting in India. By the end of the 19th and 20th and the beginning of the 20th century, this art came to an end with Raja Ravi Verma. What was the reason behind it? See, at the same time, the freedom movement was going on in India when the poets, and the writers, they were writing the patriotic essays and synthesizing the masses. The artists thought how they can contribute in the freedom movement. So they realized at that time when we are asking British to quit India and we were discarding the fabrics made by the Britishers. So at that time, they realized that they are following the Western art technique. The Indians were painting in oil at that moment and they were following the Western realism, whereas they left behind the tempera style of painting, which is the original Indian style of coloring. So they regenerated the feeling of patriotism by again adopting the traditional tempera style. The credit of bringing a new style of painting in India goes to E.V. Hebbel. Who was he? He was the principal of Calcutta School of Art and gave a constructive shape to this new style with the help of Rabindranath Tagore, who was then a leading artist of India. Within 10 years, a new school of painting was established with the help of the joint efforts of E.B. Hebbel and Sri Rabindranath Tagore, which was based fully on Indian traditions, which came to be known as Bengal School. So this is the origin of the Bengal School and how this art style developed. A group of Bengal artists gave birth to a new traditional painting style after copying the paintings of Mughal school, Rajput school and Ajanta and created a renaissance under the guidance and the headship of Rabindranath Tagore. According to Kumar Swami, Rabindranath Tagore, who was a genius artist with a creative mind, put the Indian soul before the world. In 1907, they both founded the Indian Society of Oriental Arts, whose main aim was to encourage the traditional art of painting and to help the progressive artist. At this time, Indian artists started giving respect to the traditional painting and stopped blind copying of Western art. Thus was born the Bengal School, which was more a style than a regional development. Now this line is very important when I say Bengal School of Art was more of a style than a regional development. As you see, the Rajasthani art, how it got its name. The art which was being followed in the locality of the Rajasthan known as a Rajasthan school, the art form which was followed in Pahar in the hills of Himachal Pradesh, that was known as a Pahari school, the art which was followed during the Mughal emperors, Mughal emperors, that art was known as a Mughal art. But this art style does not get its name because it was being developed, being followed in the Bengal itself. But this style was followed countrywide, whether the center is in Delhi, Ahmedabad, Allahabad, wherever, Hyderabad, they all were following the same technique of Bengal school. So that is why it is very important to understand that this art style was not a regional development. Bengal school was a fusion of the Rajput and Pahari miniature tradition, early Indian painting, the Rajput, the Ajanta cave mural style, and also incorporated the Japanese style of wash or watercoloring painting on paper. See, when you will see the work of the Bengal artists, you will see that they have followed the format of the miniature painting. Their painting size is not very big. As well as Nandlal Bose, he has done lot of copy work of the Ajanta work. So the same type of figures, the lines, the colors you could feel, you could see in the work of the Bengal school artist. That is why we say there is an impact of miniature painting on the Bengal school. Now we come the centers. We come to know about the different centers which were being followed, which were following the art style of Bengal school. The credit of representing important art movement in modern India goes to the Bengal school, and this rebirth of Indian art spread to every part of the country from Bengal. The center was Bengal and it spread each part of the country. Special art centers were born at Bombay, Madras, Delhi, Punjab, Gujarat, Lucknow, Jaipur and Hyderabad. D.P. Roy Chaudhary, M.A.R. Chuttai, Yamini Roy, Asit Kumar Haldar, Amrita Shergill, they did different experiments in foreign technique with Indian tradition, which basically turned out to be Indian. Now here I would like to mention that initially Yamini Roy was the part of the Bengal school, but after some time he wanted to do some experiment and he followed the folk art of the Kali Ghat and he made his composition based on that art form. Amrita Shergill, as I mentioned here, but she popularized the modern art, more oil painting again in India, but her subject were basically the folk art, folk life of Punjab. Now this is the wash technique. Wash technique is the hallmark of Bengal school. Avnindranath learned Japanese watercoloring and synthesized it with European watercoloring technique to create a novel technique which came to be known as wash technique. This new method of tempera mixed with wash became the hallmark of Bengal school and marked the departure of the traditional tempera method. See, the tempera method, why we say this word departure of the traditional tempera method? Because that style was followed in the 16th and 19th century. And now, with the time, advancement of the time, they did experiment and improved They did experiment and improve their tempera technique and developed a new technique which was known as wash technique. So this is the major contribution of Bengal school to Indian art. The above artists gave birth to a new style of painting by the integration of Indian and foreign art, which was quite Indian in character. These are the subject matters of Bengal school. Historical painting. The artwork was done on historical paintings, religious paintings, literary themes in Indian literature were liberally painted in this school. Meghdut of Asad Kumar Haldar and Ram Gopal Vijayvargiya is very famous under this theme. Social life, there is an abundance of social and daily life painting in this school. Hardware merchant, beggar, the last journey, etc. are worth mentioning. Birds and animals have been painted, but the animals painted are very beautiful and expressive. In the painting Journey's End, the end of a camel painted has been depicted. It is a wonderful emotional sight. The expression of the pain, suffering and fatigue of the dumb animal can be clearly seen through the posture and half-open eye of the beast. And in Bengal school, lot of landscaping painting has been done. The paintings, the landscape paintings are there in abundance. This is the most liked subject of the Bengal school artist. Cityscape, sketches of Calcutta city, they love to paint that. Now, the characteristics. If you get the question about why do you like or dislike the Bengal school, you have to mention the characteristics. Okay. So, first is the effect of Ajanta. As I told you that they were inspired by the Ajanta artwork, they did lot of copy work. So, these artists automatically, they developed the characteristics of Ajanta art in their own work. The soul of Ajanta is very clearly visible in Bengal paintings. Bengal painters have tried to introduce linear delicacy, rhythm and grace of Ajanta in their paintings to the best of their ability, as seen in the paintings of Journey's End, Radhika and Raslila. Second point is soft and rhythmic figures. Again, because of the influence of Ajanta, the figures are delicate and graceful. There is no hardness in them anywhere which makes the onlooker spellbound. Paintings are simplified and normal. Figures in the paintings of Radhika and Raslila are rhythmic, delicate and flowing. And there is an essence of spirituality in them. Third characteristic is attractive color scheme. This is the major characteristics, major feature of the Bengal school paintings. Wash technique has been used in order to bring harmony in the painting. Bright and gaudy colors have not at all been used anywhere. Bengal school paintings are known for this soft, harmonious color scheme. Why? Why we say there is no bright and gaudy colors? Because they follow the wash technique, which gives a very luminous, mellow, mystic and harmonious effect. Impact of Mughal and Rajasthani schools. This also can be seen in the paintings of Bengal school, because as I told you, that proves that the roots of the style is there underneath Indian miniature. They followed the format for their paintings of miniature paintings. Use of light and shadow. Now, this is the one point. which they have learned from the Western art. Light and shadow has been very delicately shown, as no place we find any hardness in the painting because of it. Next point is three-dimensional effect. Due to the impact of the Western art, we see 3D effect in the paintings of the school. In spite of all of these qualities, some drawbacks remain in the school. In the beginning, the paintings were very attractive and they were painted by the pioneers of the school, but the later artists could not paint with that standard. Now, effects of the Bengal school. What was the contribution, the initiative which the Bengal school took, what impact they have on the Indian art? After that, Indian painting had a definite effect of European modern art. The reason was Renaissance only. Our artists became keen to know about the latest developments in the world of painting and tried to learn them. The artist started painting for his own pleasure, and this was the beginning of the modern art in India. That is why it is said that the Bengal school laid the foundation stone for the growth of modern painting in India. Now children, we will be studying about some paintings which are included in our course of study, and the first painting is done by Abanindranath Tagore. As you know that the credit goes to Abanindranath Tagore for creating, for regenerating the Indian art. So we will learn something about the artist first. Abanindranath Tagore was a pioneer and the leader of the Indian artistic renaissance. He synthesized the traditional Indian style with those of the West and started a new style of painting which is called the Bengal school. The great artist was born in Jorasanko near Calcutta on 7th August 1871. Rabindranath Tagore was his uncle. See, as soon as we say Abanindranath Tagore, the Tagore word connects you with Rabindranath Tagore. So here it is very, I felt it is necessary to explain you what the relation these both were having. So Rabindranath Tagore was his uncle. So he got the talent of art by birth. He painted the subjects like portraits, general life and landscape, etc. Rabindranath Tagore served the art of painting as a promoter and teacher of art. He created a batch of students with the help of Shri E.V. Havel, in which Nandlal Bose, Asif Kumar Haldar, K. Venkataya, Shailendranath Dey, Devi Prasad Roy, etc. worth mentioning. Several other art schools were opened by his effort, where mostly his pupils went as heads of the same. At Shanti Niketan, Nandlal Bose was the head of painting department. One of the reasons of the end of his style is the rise of modern art in India. Now he is compared to Mahatma Gandhi. As Mahatma Gandhi is called the father of the nation, so Rabindranath can be called the father of modern Indian painting. Now this is the artwork which is done by Rabindranath Tagore, and here you could see the focus is just on the animal and the background is flat and very soft harmonious color scheme is used here. It is done in watercolor and technique is wash and tempera. Rabindranath Tagore evolved a mellow, mystic and lyrical style. Could you feel that? Yes. So this painting is acclaimed as a great piece of art. In this painting, the miserable beast of burden is shown to be breathing his last. After a long day tiring journey, the whole episode invites a sympathetic look. The pain and the suffering of the dumb animal can be clearly seen in the half-opened eyes of the beast. Now this is the compositional arrangement. You get two separate questions, one for the subject matter and other for the compositional arrangement. If you have to appreciate the compositional arrangement, you have to describe, you have to talk about the space division, the foreground, the middle ground, the background. Then you have to talk about the color scheme and use of perspective. So in this painting, if you see, red, brown, a bit of orange and yellow colors have been used. Wash of colors has given the background and the sky a hue of sunset. Foreground painted in the darker tones of the same colors, adding tint of blue on the ground where the tired camel is about to collapse. So here you see, so the dark tone is shown because to show the shadow of this animal also. The massive weight, this is the massive weight on the camel's back, seems to be crushing the poor animal down. He has yet not given up hope of standing once again, as he is shown on his knees and the back legs uplift and head slightly raised. This painting has a philosophical meaning also. The animal is compared to the man. So among all the paintings of the Bengal school, the subject matter of the painting Journey's End is very close to the heart because it has a hidden philosophical message of strong willpower, dedication and not giving up hope. The end of journey of the camel is symbolized with the end of the life of a man. The load on his back symbolizes the responsibilities of family, social and economic pressure which man carries till the end of his life. The sunset hues also depicts the end of the day, that again means the end of the life. The inner message of the painting has deep impact on the viewers. It depicts the exploitation of the laborers where they are, whether they are humans or animals. Now we have to discuss the life values. One question comes on the life values. So what the life values? I have left this slide blank to discuss with you. The first is the willpower, dedication, determination, dutiful. So you can keep adding more and more values which you consider are suitable for this painting. These are some other artwork. I am giving you the idea. This is the Bharat Mata painted in a very realistic way. Earlier when we say Devi or Mata something, you get the image of the Durga. But here you see a lady is shown in a realistic manner. This is another work of the Rabindranath Tagore. Now the next artist is Nandlal Bose. And he was among the main disciples of the Rabindranath Tagore, who contributed a lot to the Renaissance movement of Indian art. He did not copy the traditional art fully, but did some new experiments with the modern and new techniques. The great artist was born on 3rd September 1883 in the Munger district of Bihar. He was very fond of painting from his very childhood. He painted beautiful landscapes at Shantiniketan, and he assisted Lady Haringham, a British mural painter, in preparing the true copies of the paintings of Ajanta and Bagh, which enhanced his reputation. His some famous paintings are Tiller of the Soil, Parsarthi, Pratiksha, Shiva taking poison. Now this is the painting, Shiva and Sati. Again you see the very mellow, mystic and harmonious effect is there. The focus is only on the two figures whereas in the previous painting, the focus was on the animal only. Nothing else is shown in the background. So this is the subject matter. The goddess Sati was born as a daughter of King Daksha Prajapati. To win the heart of Shiva, Sati left the luxuries of his father's palace and retired to a forest to devote herself to the worship of Shiva. So rigorous were her penance that finally the great god came out of his long meditation and married her. Daksh had never approved of his daughter's marriage. He disliked Shiva. Why? Because of his odd appearance, strange habits, and the fact he did not behave accordingly to the ways of the world. After Sati's marriage, Daksh arranged a great yajna to which all the gods were invited except Shiva and Sati. She reasoned within herself that her parents had not made a formal invitation to them because as a family such formality was not necessary. But when she reached her father's place, father insulted Shiva, which hurt Sati too badly. She sat in a meditative seat on the ground, going deep within herself, and she began to increase her own inner fire through yogic exercises until her body burst into flames. Here in this painting, Shiva is shown mourning on the death of his beloved wife. Shiva is shown sitting on the ground, placed Sati's head on his lap. Okay, now let us talk about the compositional arrangement. This is a vertical composition done in a typical Bengal style. Only the figure of Lord Shiva and Sati are drawn. The artist has shown his mastery in handling the colors, as same colors are applied in the figures as well as in the background. Figures are soft and rhythmic. A halo is shown behind Shiva's head. The background is giving the effect of the dust storm, which is due to the destruction caused by the powerful dance of enraged Shiva that brought havoc upon the earth. But now he is reposed and calm and affectionately holding the charred body of his wife. Now let us appreciate the color scheme. The painting gives the effect of monochromatic color scheme. Yellow ochre, romber, brown and sap green colors are used. The lines used in this work are very effective. Now let us see some other work of the artist. This is the painting Parsarthi. Here you could feel that the resemblance of Krishna with Buddha as the features are used in Ajanta painting. This is another panel painting done by Nandlal Bose. So there are the two different ways, two different lines. Here the minimum lines are used to depict the scene. Now the third artist. Okay, before that we will see some more artwork of Nandlal Bose. This is the famous lino cut work done by Nandlal Bose. And here, see, you could see the date also written here. 12/4/1930. This lino cut was made. Here is the date written. This is again the copy work of the Ajanta, and this is the another panel painting where he has depicted the life of villagers, Indian villagers. Now, this is the third artist which we are going to study. Shetindranath Majumdar was an influential figure of the Bengal School of Art. He restricted himself to Vaishnava cult and evolved a mannered style in which elongated figures generally appear against a simple background with trees and shrubs. Shetindranath Majumdar was appointed principal of the Indian Society of Oriental Art, Calcutta, and later became principal of the art department of Allahabad University. He worked as stage and curtain designer in a drama group in Bihar and was also an accomplished singer of songs from Sri Krishna Leela. Now this is the artwork. Here again could see the mellow, mystic and rhythmic effect. Here in the center Krishna is shown, and both the sides gopis are shown. Now if you see this painting is divided into two panels. In the lower part, all the figures are made here